Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and today we are taking out the Tier 8 Russian cruiser, the Chapayev. Hopefully I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I'm sorry, but oh well. So pretty much, in my opinion, the Chapayev is pretty much like the Shchors, just a little bit better. There's a few things better about her than the Shchors, but pretty much like the Shchors, very similar how you play her. So that's kind of my opinion. But let's go ahead and look at the stats. Survivability, I should also point out, she's not fully upgraded. The only thing I did go for is the gun range, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. Survivability, she has 32,000 points of health. Armor is, as usual, huge citadel above the waterline, 100 millimeters, very thin. So you definitely don't want to be showing any broadside if you can help it. Sometimes you kind of have to, so do keep that in mind. And your guns are a little bit weak as well, 65 millimeters, and 175 up front. But other than that, they can get damaged fairly easily, especially if they get hit from the back. I just now noticed that 60 millimeters from the back. So very thin armor, but that's kind of what you expect from the Russian cruiser line until you get up to the Donskoy and then Moskva. So artillery, this is where she pretty much reigns supreme as far as fire starting and as reload rate. You have 4 main guns, 3 turrets each, or sorry, 4 turrets, 3 guns each. Reload time of 8 seconds. Turn time on the guns is 22.8 seconds. Very tight dispersion, 142 meters. HG shell damage max is 22,200. Chance of fire is 15%, which is fantastic. AP is 3,300, and range is 17.3 kilometers. The Shchors had a 16.8 kilometers once you had the gun up range included, so definitely a lot better. It's about 0.5, it's about half a kilometer more that you have the opportunity to actually fire. And velocity on the shells is 950 meters per second. So it's very quick. I do like the guns on the Chapayev. So torpedoes, you have 2, 3, 533 millimeter torpedoes. Reload time is 74 seconds. And range is 4 kilometers with a max damage of 17,933. So once again, pretty much oh shit, I got way too close. So torpedoes aren't really an option. Only great if you do need to fire them, but you eventually will lose them once you get up. I think to the Donskoy, you no longer offer the torpedoes. So just enjoy them while they last. AA defense is at, it's alright. You have 4 dual 12.7 millimeters, 6 dual 37 millimeters, and your secondaries, which you have only 4 of them, are dual 100 millimeters. So the AA is not the greatest right now, but once you get the actual hull upgrade, the AA goes up quite a bit. Maneuverability, she's a little quick. I think she's a little bit slower than the Shchors with 33.5 knots max speed. Turning circle radius is 890 meters, a little bit tighter compared to the Shchors, and the rudder shift time is 10.8 seconds. Concealment, by sea it is 11.6 kilometers. By air is 7.2 kilometers. So you do have plenty of room between being detected and when you're able to fire. So always plan accordingly when you're about to fire and when you're going to be detected. So something always to keep in mind whenever you're playing the Russian cruiser line. So like I was pointing out before, I went for the range because when you start off with 15.8 kilometers. That is not good for this weak of a ship, and I would highly recommend go for that first and then go for the hull. Like I said, the hull will give you additional health, but also additional mounts on your AA, which will boost it up to about 51. So that is something you definitely need. Consumables, I would just stick with the spotting aircraft. You can't actually change that. And it's possible you go for the hydroacoustics, but I think defensive AA might be a little bit better. Definitely will help you against any potential planes coming in. But other than that, let's go ahead and take her out. And I will see you guys in just a little bit. Hello everyone, welcome back to your replay with the Chapayev, and I really do love this ship. This ship is, I know, essentially, it's basically the Shchors, but still, it's an amazing ship. So we are playing on hotspots, the dreaded hotspots. We have three North Carolinas, one Amagi, Shchors, Prince Eugen, Chapayev, ARP, Miyoko, Cleveland, Benson, Mahan, and Mutsuki. On the enemy team, there are three North Carolinas, Amagi, Gneisenau, New Orleans, Mogami, Atlanta, Nuremberg, Bajani, Fubuki, and a Sims. So we spawned on the north-hand side of the map, and I kind of want to try to help out my destroyers if all possible. So I'm going to try to use these islands as cover, because you really can't go into a cap against possible battleships, which there probably are battleships just south of sea. So that's why I'm trying to be cautious and not just, you know, zoom into sea and then die immediately, because the armor on the Chop is weak. It is essentially weak. So we're gonna try to get behind an island and try to help our destroyers as much as possible. So we do see fire kind of coming in. Looks like it's towards our friendly cruiser. I think it's just to the left of us. Try and think who that is. It's the Prince Eugen, the tier 8 German cruiser, which is pretty much the Hipper, essentially. So we do see that the enemy team has moved away around the side of the island, and hopefully we can try to support them. And I'm in kind of a bad spot because I will be detected if I do open fire, so that's why you see me kind of moving away from these islands as quickly and efficiently as I can. And pretty soon we should see the Bajani and the Mogami. Let's see, yep, we are spotted. There's Atlanta. So let's open up on the Atlanta. I do have armor piercing loaded. Armor piercing, still you can get citadels with it, and that's so nice to see, getting citadels against a Atlanta. It's recently become more difficult to actually get those citadels, and we got another one. Now we do switch over our attention to the enemy Bajani. Hopefully we can get a citadel. Nope, just a regular pierced hole. And oh, I think that was possibly the Amagi. No, Mogami, actually, sorry. Couldn't quite see who was back there. I think that was the Mogami that actually got a big hit on us. So we moved around the island to take on the Sims. And destroyer captains, do not go up against a Russian cruiser, because they can whittle you down very quickly. And this guy has used his engine boost but also popped smoke, but he's going too fast to where his speed is actually carrying him away out of the smoke. And you can see I'm getting downright hammered by the Atlanta and the Bajani. So I'm going to try to angle away from their armor piercing, just let it bounce off my hull harmlessly. So really want to take out this enemy Mahan, but he does eventually disappear. So I do switch over to armor piercing, and we are just getting downright hammered by the Atlanta. Atlanta is currently firing armor piercing, and this shot almost looked like we would have hit that Sims. Did I say Mahan? I meant Sims. So I switched back over to high explosive, take out the Sims, see if we can get them killed. And for some odd reason, those shots did not go where I wanted them to. But he is burning quite nicely. And you see, at angled, the armor on the Chapayev does pretty good as far as reflecting any damage by armor piercing. And so we do take out the enemy Sims. Let's focus our attention on the enemy Bajani. I think he's probably about to go down to the friendly battleship. He's very low on health. And let's see, the North Carolina did take out with secondary hits. Not bad. Not bad, North Carolina. So, that was kind of exciting few moments. Let's see. We've lost our friendly Prince Eugen, and the enemy Gneisenau, whoa, took a massive hit. Not exactly sure from what. Maybe possibly from the North Carolina? Wow. he just melted away. So the Atlanta had turned around, and at this point, I'm so far out that I'm using my spottercraft, and I will have to say, I hate using the spottercraft. I mean, it's nice, you're able to see over stuff, you're able to fire a lot further away, but the angle makes it more difficult for me in able to get my shots to actually land. And our team's doing an excellent job. We just took out the enemy Atlanta, and now there's just the North Carolina and the enemy Megami left on this side, and I'm really far out, so I'm going to try to move in and assist. But with the chop, you have this fantastic range of, I think it's well over 20, I think it's about 21 kilometers roughly, and being this long range can definitely help out, even if you're so far out that normally you would not be able to. So we do get a fire on the North Carolina, but for whatever reason, the friendly North Carolina decided to go for ram and took out the enemy North Carolina. So all that's left on this side is the enemy Megami and the enemy Nuremberg. Now the Nuremberg was talking about how weak his armor is at the beginning of battle, so let's see if we can help him with that with some lovely armor piercing. Maybe we can get a citadel. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. And we do lose the spottercraft, but that's fine because I can do better aiming when it's not around. And here you can see I'm debating who to go after. I think we're going to go after the Megami. The Megami is currently trying to go after our friendly Mutsuki. And let's take a chance with armor piercing, and let's see how well armor piercing does. Now we do know you can get decent damage, about 5,000. Let's see how much damage we can do against this Megami. So we do get spotted. He does bounce a few, but he does show us broadside. That's naughty. That's gonna get him killed. So you can see I'm looking at torpedoes. I'm debating, should I fire them? But they're only 4 kilometers. They really don't go very far. I went ahead and fired them. Just in case. You never know. You might run into them. I've had instances where destroyers or other ships decide to turn into my torpedoes. And here it becomes a little dicey. Now, if the Megami had armor piercing, he probably could have done a significant amount of damage. Fortunately, he had high explosive. So that salvo, 2 citadels, and the salvo, we got another one, and he is very low on health. Can we just finish him off before he fires? Well, we got the kill, but he gets a fire on us, and we have 44 seconds before damage control is available. So this is gonna be a little bit close as far as how much health we're gonna have after this. We got still 30 more seconds before the fire goes out, but we might be able to survive. And at this time, I'm just concerned about surviving. That's why you can see me, I'm moving away north. Fire does increase your detection, so that is one thing you do need to keep in mind. If you're on fire, you're going to be detected a little bit easier. And we do take out the enemy Nuremberg as well. But thoughts on the Chop? So far, I like her. She's a fun ship. She acts pretty much like a light cruiser, and so you have that very high reload rate. Fire chance is pretty good, 15% on 12 shots, 12 shells. So she's a great fire starter. Range is fantastic, and that's kind of where pisses me off is the Russian cruiser line and the including the Mikhail Kutuzov. Essentially stole the Megami's title, and which is sad because the Megami, for everyone that does not know, Megami used to have, I believe they were 152 millimeter shells. I think they were probably 5 or 6 inch shells, and you had 5 turrets, triple guns each, 15 shells, volleys. The load time I think of like 8 or so seconds, and then if you had your advanced fire and training and basic fire and training, Yeah, it made the Megami a fantastic destroyer, anti-destroyer, and a fantastic fire starter. Megami was powerful. Unfortunately, I was able to try her before she got heavily nerfed, and I am grateful for that, but the Russian cruiser line did essentially take over for the Megami, so I mean, it's okay. I'd rather have the Megami the way it was before. That's my opinion. But I don't think we're ever going to see that again. But after that, I think I'm going to end this video here. We essentially went, we're too far away to actually take out this last battleship, which is the North Carolina. So I'm going to end this video here. If you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zai Jen.